Hello guys, it is FluffySez here, back at another video for you guys today. Today guys, we're going to be talking about the best VR capable laptops that you can get to use your VR headset on the go. I know a lot of you guys out there have the Oculus Quest and Quest 2, and so this is more if you want to use it with Oculus Link. I personally am a huge fan of using Oculus Link and Virtual Desktop, as a lot of the native Quest games just aren't as full as some of your VR PC games. For instance, Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx is a PC VR game. I would not normally be able to share that with people, even though I bring my Oculus Quest 2 everywhere I go when I go to visit family, because I just can't bring my whole entire PC. If I had a gaming laptop, that would be much more doable. That is why in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some gaming laptops that work with VR that you might want to look at getting for every single price range. These are going to go up from $5,000 laptops all the way down to ones in the $800 price range. So no matter your budget, you can definitely look towards this video to find a good gaming laptop that you can use with your VR device. Like I said earlier, this video is going to be mainly for people using Oculus Link, but you can also use your Valve Index if you want to move your base stations as well. You can also use it with your Rift S, and you can also use it with your HP Reverb G2. With that being said though, let's just jump straight into today's video. Starting off, we're going to be taking a look at an Alienware laptop. This one is expensive, and when I say expensive, I mean expensive. It runs about $4,500. But don't worry, this is the most expensive one. This is for these people who want the most out of their experience with their gaming laptop when trying to use it with their VR headset. The reason this laptop is so good and worth the price is the fact that you can get a 2080 Super inside of the laptop. This 2080 Super is going to give you super crisp gameplay no matter what you are playing on your headset. This will run Half-Life Alyx with no lag on the best settings. Along with that, you're going to be getting a 10th gen Intel Core i9. This really isn't as necessary as a lot of VR is in that graphics processing power, but having a good processing power is going to allow your games to run smoothly. It's not going to be the actual frame rate and visual quality, but it is going to allow for those more complicated games to run without hiccups. Along with that, you will also get an insane amount of RAM. This RAM isn't really necessary, but it is useful if you are going to multitask with this device. You'll be able to leave whatever you want running in the background. All you have to do is load up your game and play VR, and you won't have to worry about your RAM being used elsewhere, as you basically have a server grade RAM in your laptop. After that, we can take a look at the 2TB SSD. This 2TB SSD is really important, as a lot of gamers out there who are buying $5,000 laptops probably have a lot of games. If you have a lot of games, you're definitely going to want that hard drive space to get them all on there. Along with that, it is an SSD, meaning your games will get running much quicker. With that being said, this is a VR capable laptop. If you look over there on the back, you can see there is HDMI plugs and DisplayPort mini plugs. If you have an Oculus Rift S, the only way you can actually plug in is via DisplayPort, but the Rift S also comes with a DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort adapter, which will work with these laptops. If you are using an Oculus Quest 2, then you're going to be in for a wonderful surprise, as they have Thunderbolt USB inputs. These USB Thunderbolts are insanely fast and will give you an amazing experience as long as your cord can handle it. The only downside to using a laptop like this is how heavy it is. If you get this laptop, you're going to be looking at around 10 pounds just to lug the laptop around. On top of that, you're also going to have your headset along with any other base stations or controllers or stuff you might need on the side. Besides for that though, if you have the money, this is definitely the laptop to get if you want to take that PC VR experience elsewhere in the world. The laptop I just showed you is not the most expensive laptop in the world. The reason you don't want to just buy a laptop with the highest price tag is because you'll end up getting a laptop like this. Don't get me wrong, this laptop is a really good laptop, just not for PC VR gaming, as it doesn't have an internal graphics card. The graphics are going to be run off an integrated CPU, which is normally pretty bad in machines, but this integrated CPU graphics card is actually really good. But it is still nowhere as close to having its own graphics card, meaning you won't get the same visual experience, lag freeness, and clarity that you would with something like the Alienware Area 51. Moving on though, we have our first and only Dell laptop. This laptop is a Dell laptop with an Intel Core i7 and 16 gigabytes of memory. It also has an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 with a 1TB SSD. As I said with the other one, I'm not going to go as in depth as it's mostly the same things, but you will get a decent bang for your buck with this graphics card being an RTX 2070. It is not the same as a 2080 or a 2080 Super, but a 2070 will still give you lots and lots of good clarity, along with that smooth frame rate that you'll want when playing in VR as not to get motion sick. Along with that, you also have an SSD, so all your games will run super quickly, and you have a decent amount of storage on that as well. The processor is nowhere as good as the one in the previous computer, which is a lot of where this price drop comes in, as this computer is roughly $2,000, sitting at $1,850. This price drop does have its drawbacks, as you get a smaller SSD, you get a worse graphics card, and you get a worse processor. All around though, this computer should be really good at playing PC VR games to their fullest if you are somewhat on a budget and not looking to spend $5,000. This computer does have an advantage over the $5,000 computer though, as its product weight is significantly lighter, cutting down from that around 9 pounds all the way down to 4.81 pounds. With that being said though, it's time to move on to the next computer. Over here we have another Alienware computer. This one is significantly cheaper than the other one, because this one only is $1,520, significantly cheaper than the $4,500 one, but this one definitely has its drawbacks. For a start, it only has an RTX 2060. It only has 256 gigabytes of storage, meaning you'll fill that up pretty quickly just getting the games you have. It has an Intel Core i7, just like the last one. So looking at this one compared to the other one, since there is a small difference, you can tell that this one is definitely more of a budget option. If you only have roughly $1,500, you can't afford the $1,800 one, so you'll end up getting this one. You will have a bit of a downgrade, but overall things should still run pretty well. You still have that individual graphics card at a 2060, which will run games pretty well, just not completely smooth on the highest settings. You also get a decent CPU to use and some good memory, that way you can multitask. But the problem and big drawback of this one is the fact that the SSD is really small, meaning you'll fill that up with all of your games. Going and checking out the weight, you can see that it is clocking in at 4.76 pounds. This is also a really light machine and will be really easy to take on the go, but is nothing significant compared to the last one. Coming up on our last budget option, this is going to be the cheapest you can get a good PC VR ready machine. If you're looking for anything cheaper than this, it's either a scam or it's just not going to work the way you expect it to. This one alone is not going to run very well, so I definitely would not recommend this one if you have the ability to buy the one up above this. But starting this one off, you got that $900 price tag, which is super duper cheap, especially now since it is on sale, normally at $1,200. This laptop does have an individual graphics card, but it is only a 1660 Ti. 1660 Ti is not a great graphics card. It's not bad, but it's nothing fantastic. So this graphics card definitely won't give you max frame rate on all the highest settings. So probably have to tick down some of those settings just to hit 60 frames a second. Along with that, you have the Ryzen 7, which is a pretty good CPU and is definitely going to be good in a machine like this. Moving on though, you have 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. This is where you're kind of hitting the bullet here, because DDR4 RAM is good, but only 8 gigabytes is going to mean everything on your computer would need to be shut down for you to play games at the full speed. If you have something like Chrome open, all of your RAM is going to get stolen, and you're going to have a very tough time trying to play any games. One upgrade on this machine from the one we just looked at is actually its storage. It has exactly double the storage, clocking in at 512 gigabytes, all on an SSD. Nothing special on this laptop besides for the fact that you can get it at a fairly cheap price, so if you are on a budget, this is definitely the best option. Looking at the weight for this one, you can see it is also around that 4.8 pounds area, clocking in at 4.85. Nothing extraordinary, about the same weight as all of the other ones. This final last one here is a bit of a wild card, but it is mainly in here for the sole purpose of showing you what a slim gaming laptop would look like. This laptop is insane. It has an i7, 9th gen, pretty good. It has an NVIDIA RTX 2060. So this computer itself looks a bit like this one right here. You have roughly the same build as this one, but the thing that sets this one apart is its weight. If we scroll down to the weight, you can see right here it is 4.19 pounds. It may not seem like a whole lot going from 4.8 to 4.19, but that is a whole basically half a pound that you're cutting off of the top there. That half a pound is a lot when you're carrying this thing from place to place. So if you do want a decently good laptop, as you can see, it's pretty good, it's sold out. But if you want a decently good laptop and you are going to be taking this from place to place, let's say you're at college and you need to bring it around places and you're also going to be using this as your school laptop, but you also want to play PC VR games, then this is definitely the best choice as it is super light and super easy to carry around. With that being said though, that is going to wrap up today's video. My plan is to get either one or multiple of these laptops to do reviews on. That way I can give my actual opinion after using the laptop itself. Being able to showcase these laptops in real life in their fullest would be a great show of power for each of these individual laptops, along with me being able to explain how the weight actually feels when carrying it around in something like a bag. Thank you to all of my members. You guys are absolute mad lads, my little lettuces, my bear cubs, and my mama bears. Thank you so much for your support. You allow me to do what I am doing. All of that shameless plugging out of the way, it is now time to end off the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody. Bye.